Hello, my budgeting friends. How's it going for you today? Welcome back, or welcome if you're new. This is Managing Mona's Moolah, and I am Mona. Thank you for being here. This channel is all about bi-weekly paycheck budgeting, monthly budgeting, cash stuffing my savings challenges and my day-to-day cash envelopes, and paying off my mortgage early so I can retire early. So if any of those topics interest you, I welcome you to subscribe to my channel. Today, I am going to be closing out my monthly budget for February already. February just flew right by. I can't believe how fast time flies. We are rapidly entering the month of March. I'm very excited for March to roll around. It's a magic month for me. I'm going to be embarking on a weekend trip to go see Billy Joel and Stevie Nicks in concert. Woohoo! I'm so excited about that concert coming up. So I am looking to a wonderful March, windy here where I live, but I am looking forward to a brand new start in March. Before I can do that, though, I have to close out my monthly budget for February. Now, I cheated a little bit and I didn't record my second paycheck budget for February, but nevertheless, I need to get back on track and close out that monthly budget that I established with all of you right before February began. So let's get into this, and I am going to pull out my monthly budget sheet that I started once upon a time with all of you. All right, so this was my monthly budget for February 2024, and I have an estimated column, and I go back in and I actually write in what actually happened during the month. So for February, I was off with my estimated take-home pay. So my paycheck was slightly larger. The company that I work for adjusted the pay, and so here I am at a higher paycheck, which is always good, right? So my carryover was the same as what I had estimated, and this $7.12 was extra coins in my little coin purse, and it was really making my purse heavy. So I took it to the institution where I do my banking, and they will allow me to use this machine for free. So I dump all my coins in there and I get to deposit that into my checking account. So this is an actual summary of everything that hit my checking account only. All this extra side stuff is not included in here. This is just my take-home pay, anything that affected my checking account directly. Okay, so I am going to start by adding my actual paychecks, my actual carryover, and this extraneous dollar value of $7.12 because that actually affected my checking account. And this will be my actual amount, my total income that goes down here in this little box. So let me start out by doing that. So my actual paychecks were 25, 85, 32 times 2 plus the carryover into this month, which was $56.93 plus $7.12 of extra change that I deposited into my checking account. So that dollar value is $5,234.69. All right. So let's take a look at my fixed expenses. The actual bills, these are my actual numbers, the actual dollar values of my electric bill, all my home utility bills here, including my mortgage payment, which was $1880.08. So that is my new mortgage payment every month from here going forward. So I'm going to add these actual amounts and come up with an actual spent dollar value to place in this column right here. So I'm going to add these together. So my mortgage payment was $1880.08. Electricity was $87.43. $94.45 for my natural gas. $66.20 for water, sewer, trash. $66.48 for home security. $50 for my cell phone bill, and $50 for my share of the internet. So that gives me a total of $2,294.64. So then moving down to my debt section here, I did pay extra during the month of February to my mortgage principal for $815. And if you'll notice, I have a credit card payment here as well. I went crazy with my credit card. I have a weakness for buying handbags. I love my purses and my handbags. So I charged it on my card and now I have to pay it back. So that dollar value is $251.59. I budgeted $0 initially. So I'm going to add up what I actually spent on my debt. So $815 plus $251.59 towards my credit card. And that gives me a dollar value of $1,066.59. So whenever I do make a purchase on my credit card, I like to immediately pay it off. So when this happens, it just means that I don't get to save as much because I'm paying it towards my credit card. And it's dangerous to have a credit card, but I have to be disciplined to pay that off. I don't like to have a balance rolling over month to month. It makes me uneasy, so I just have to pay it off as soon as I possibly can. So when I made that extra credit card payment, it also affected my variable expenses section and my savings. So naturally, I don't get to save that much, and I don't get to take out that much in cash for my other variable expense items. So for my allowance, I only pulled $100 in cash. Notice how I budget $200. So that extra $100 went to my credit card. My groceries was not affected. That stayed at $300. Car juice was $50. For kids, I only spent half, which means I only took out $50 from the bank. Miscellaneous only got $20. My giving got the full $40. Health and beauty got $95 instead of $100. My car insurance, I'm going to go back to my expense trackers to see what I pulled out for my car insurance during the month. So with paycheck number 1, I reserved $50 towards my car insurance maintenance fund. And for the second paycheck, I did not withdraw any money for that fund. So it stayed at $50 instead of $75. So for gifts, I had originally budgeted $75. So paycheck number 1, I withdrew $50 and nothing for paycheck number 2. So instead of $75 for the month, I only took out $50 for gifts. So these are my actual dollar values. So I'm going to add these together. $100 plus $300 plus $50 plus $50 plus $20 plus $40 for giving, $95 for health and beauty, $50 for car insurance and maintenance, and $50 for gifts. So the dollar value is $755. So instead of $980, I only pulled out $755 in cash. So there's that decrease because of that increase over here. So the next section is my savings. So from my paychecks, I budgeted $100. So I'm going to go back to my expense tracker and see how much I actually pulled from my paycheck number 1, which was $40. And nothing from paycheck number 2. So I only withdrew and stuffed $40 cash from my paychecks. Let It Bloom, I had originally planned $80. And I only withdrew $40 in cash. My Jar of Hearts was pretty special because I'm so close to completing that savings challenge. So my Jar of Hearts with the first paycheck in February got $160. And $165 for my second paycheck. So that's $325 that actually went to my Jar of Hearts savings challenge. The closeout dollar value in my checking account at the end of February, rolling into March, is $143.46. So my buffer cushion is $143.46. So the amount I transferred to savings was estimated at $400. So what I'm going to do now is write in the dollar value that I transferred to my savings for my stucco that I need to get done on this house. And that was $570 that got transferred to my high yield savings account. I'm saving for a very expensive home maintenance project later on in the calendar year, so I have to save as much as I can, and that's going to go to the stucco job that I need done on this house. So I'm going to add these together for my savings and see what the dollar value is. So $40 for my paychecks to 100 envelope savings, plus $40 to Let It Bloom, $325 to my Jar of Hearts, $570 to the house stucco fund, my savings fund, and $143.46 is my actual amount in my checking account as of today, and that is my cushion, $143.46. So the total I saved this month was $1,118 46. So if I did things correctly, I should have a total income and total expenses both match up. So I'm going to bring down my actual amount that I brought in on my paychecks this month, which is $5,234.69. And I'm going to add up the actual dollar values in these columns. And if I did it correctly, I should have the same dollar value. Okay, so $2294.64 in fixed expenses, $755 for my variable expenses, $1,066.59 went to my debt, and $1,118.46 went to extra savings. So the total expenses is $5,234.69, and that does equal 0. So my total income minus my total expenses does equal 0. And that's important for me because that tells me that all my money went to a specific purpose. Even my buffer cushion is in my checking account for a specific purpose. And I know exactly how much is in there on reserve in case a minor emergency happens. So it's really eye-opening to me to see where my money went, what I had planned versus what I actually spent. And the only way for me to do this effectively is when I write down what actually happened by paycheck. Now, I might still have some of this money in my envelopes, but every time I take it from my checking account from the bank, I consider it spent. So I write down my expenses, any extra items that I didn't plan for, like my credit card payment. And that is how I'm able to determine how to close out my monthly budget, by writing everything down and what I spent, anything that affects the checking account, whether it's an addition of this $7.12, whether it's this extra credit card payment that I didn't plan for, at least everything does equal 0. I know where everything is at and everything is in balance. So I'm pleased with February. I'm looking forward to March. February was a good month to me, and I'm glad I had an opportunity to close out my February budget with all of you. It's always an eye-opener to see where my money has gone and what I am spending my money on. So that's it for today. I welcome you to come back. I have a paycheck I'm going to be budgeting in the next couple of days, so come on back. March is a magic month for me, so I have 3 paychecks to budget in March. So I welcome you to return and see how I'm going to budget out those paychecks. For me, it just means extra savings. So when I have an extra paycheck, it just means I get to save a little bit more, which means I get to get closer to my goals. So I have as you may know, I have a very important goal I need to strive for and save for, and that's my stucco that will be done on this house. This house was built in 1997, and the stucco is in need of repair, and it is a very expensive job. So I've been saving for a very long time to make sure I have enough money to complete that project. So come on back and see how I budget my paychecks for a magic month. Woohoo! And I will see you very soon. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I appreciate it. See you later. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Thank you. Bye.